Hey everybody, I'm Michael Gibbons, and this is my review of Ferris Bueller's Day Off for Sourcefed's new movie thing show. Overall, better than I expected. I loved it. I want this kind of day. I want to hijack a parade and cause a massive street party due to awesome lip syncing. That's just brilliant. I want that. First off, we have Matthew Broderick portraying Ferris Bueller. He is our car stealing, fourth wall breaking, school skipping, fence jumping champion of fun. And he does what every single one of us have done or tried to at least once in our lives, and that's sort of pull a sick one on the parents and say, oh, I'm too ill to go to school. But on top of that, what he's done is he's brought in his friend Cameron and his girlfriend Shauna, and they make a day of this thing. You might even say he sort of takes them on a both metaphorical and literal ride. That's a car reference to the car. After nicking this right beauty of a car and getting his friends in on the action, they then head into Chicago and have a grand time of it. They hit some fancy restaurants, check out some fine art, not exactly what you would normally do as a teenager, but then they sort of hit your baseball stadiums, hit a parade. By the way, who organises a random German looking parade in the middle of a school day in downtown Chicago? That scene, although brilliant, really made me question one or two groups of people. It was either going to be the writing team for this film who don't understand what weekends are for, or the Chicago community event organisers who don't understand that people are busy during the week. Overall, the performances are pretty decent. There's enough elements of normalcy and normality in these guys where you can sort of relate and recognise what's going on in their lives, but each character is sort of blown up a little bit extra to allow for these extraordinary events that are going on, and that really works. I think you've got to the point now with sort of the Michael Bay Transformer parents where they were just so odd and out of this world that you just couldn't do anything with them. They were characters you couldn't touch at all. Whereas here, you've got the sort of funny sort of oddities, but they're still sort of grounded, which helps a lot. My favourite performance probably came from Alan Ruck and his portrayal of Cameron, especially in that last scene with the car, where he's really panicking about what he's going to do with his father. You have these sort of mixed emotions that every sort of teenager feels, the sort of worry of disappointing his father and also confronting him at the same time, and you see that evolve into this sort of peace and calm and sort of inner strength. Although those very few last words when he's talking about how he's going to have a little chat with them, that come off a little bit sinister. I'm glad there wasn't a follow-up film where Cameron's dad was dead. Either way, Alan Ruck's performance was probably the highlight of the film for me. Second just had to be my sheer jealousy of Ferris's brilliant day. This is the kind of stuff I want for my life. The sheer cheek of being able to do whatever you feel like. There was an element there that sort of made me remember sort of the last days of high school. It was this line right here. A, you can never go too far, and B, if I'm going to get busted, it's not going to be by a guy like that. I loved that. I kind of had this sort of reminiscent high school thing going on for me, because at that time in high school, my last year, it was this point where all of us were starting to realise that we could actually have arguments with parents and teachers and actually come out on top, and we were really wanting to push the envelope and really learn our boundaries, and we had the whole world in front of us. It was great because we had all this potential and didn't care what anyone thought of us. And I think part of that's why I enjoyed this film so much. There was sort of a harkening back a little to my own experiences, but really it was that whole thing of here's Ferris, and you see this is obviously an extraordinary day for him and his friends, but you get this feeling that this is something he sort of gets up into in a regular basis. This is supposed to be his 9th or 10th day off, and you're thinking, well, come on, this is great. I wish I could have done stuff like this more often in school. I mean, I would have made high school a whole lot better. And I suppose I should really mention the prime antagonist in this film. What's his name? Mr. Rooney? Was it just me, or did anyone else really think Rooney had this unhealthy, borderline obsession with Ferris? I mean, breaking and entering into a house, that's not okay. It was hilarious to see him get chased by that dog. I mean, that's a scary beast. Did you see the teeth on that thing? Nobody wants to get bitten by that. Horrible. But if anyone deserves to, it was definitely Rooney. Creepy wee man, wasn't he? Even if this film didn't have Ed Rooney, it would have been pretty good, but his presence really sort of pushed it from being decent to excellent. It was a great foil for Ferris. I guess in summary, if you can handle a little bit of language and 80s fashion doesn't horrify you too much, there's no reason not to watch this movie. I went into this with no expectations at all, to be honest. I came out thinking, well, if I see this in the store next week, I'm going to add this to my DVD collection. So that's it for this review. I enjoyed Ferris Bueller. If you guys have any thoughts about the film, please leave a comment down below or leave a video response. I'd love to hear from you. But be sure to check out my other channel, Michael L. Gibbons, or more on this one, the Scottish filmmaker, for more vlogs, reviews and cool type of stuff. Anyway guys, I'm Michael Gibbons and I think you're awesome.